Everybody that hired you knows how to extract profit off of your back, off of your labor, and you don't know how to do that. How is it that so many other people who have employed you know how to extract more value out of your work than you know how to do? You're doing the work, you're doing the labor. Why can't you extract that labor and extract that profit off of your back? Why can't you do all of these things? And if you don't know the answer, it's basically two things: risk and systems building. If you do not know how to manage risk and how to take good amounts of risk so that you profit, you're never gonna do this thing called business. You're never gonna be good at business, because in business, it's all about risk. That employer takes a risk on you by training you, by hiring you, by betting on you that you're gonna do a good job. That's their bet. They are betting on you that they can profit off of your work, that they have a system in place that makes sure that they profit off of your work. That's what they do. They build systems and then they put people in these systems to profit off of them. That's capitalism in a nutshell. You have to understand that these systems do not have to be perfect. You can build them up to do so many things, but it all starts in one place. And most people don't understand. It starts by building systems for yourself, simplifying and making it more complex, and then simplify it again, and then making it more complex, slowly growing each day differently, and making tutorials or manuals or just really taking notes on how to do things, specifically how you do things, because that's going to teach you what other people can do for you. As long as you can make a video about it and teach other people on how to specifically do that one thing that you're doing, you're going to be able to find someone who can do that. But you see, most people don't understand how powerful that is, because now you can take someone who doesn't really have a lot of knowledge on how to do things, and you can teach them how to do things. So that's really the best thing ever, because you can take people who don't have an opportunity and give them a greater opportunity, pay them better than everyone else would, because you know how to train people. Understand that once you know how to train yourself, once you know how to do tutorials for yourself, that will be super valuable 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, you're going to probably know how to train people, because that training that you use for yourself is the exact same training that you are going to use for other people. Understand that every time you learn something, make a video about it, make a tutorial, just sit down and explain to yourself what you've learned, how it's done, in order to have a clear idea on how to do that specific result. The more of these you gather up, the more knowledge you have, the more understanding you have about how to train people and how to really profit off of these things. You should also have a clear plan on how that will make you more money. If you don't have a clear plan for that tutorial on how it's going to make you more money, it means you don't really have systems. So now you have to think about systems. What is a system? A system is a specific way, a specific sequence of actions that drives a result, gets you something. A recipe is a system. You have to understand that all these things, that's why it's so important to make videos for yourself, tutorials for yourself. It's because those things are systems, and you learn more and more and more about systems and how to actually build something better. But you don't understand that systems can grow and expand, but they can also shrink down. So you go to a lower level just so you learn more, just so it's easier to change things. Understand that usually a system needs 1 to 2 steps. That's all it needs. Most people make 13, 20 steps, 50 steps in their plans, in their systems. That's preposterous. All you need is 1 to 2 steps. If you do 1 to 2 steps and then grow to a third step or fourth, then you can go and expand from there. But you should also contract. Whenever you see that you find something that doesn't work, you find something that's a little bit off, just go back to the old system that was simpler and try new things. Try to see what you can understand by going back and reiterating. That's the point. You shouldn't have the perfect system because the perfect system doesn't exist in a vacuum. It only exists in the real world by testing it out. Once you test it out, once you move fast enough and break things, that's when you learn a lot. All of the things that I've learned that were so valuable in business were by doing mistakes and by taking too much risk when I wasn't ready to do so. And I've lost quite a bit of money by doing that in the beginning, but then I started losing less and less and less and less money. And now it's fractional. I'm still losing a little bit of money each day, but it's fractional as opposed to the money that I have. It's because I've learned how to manage risk. I've learned how to build systems so that I can profit off of others. I know that might sound super bad, but I usually give them more money than they had in their last job. And they usually work, well, most of the times, 99.9% of the time, they work from home, which they didn't or never did in their past. So that's clearly better. 10% better in terms of pay, and they work from home. They make their own schedule. I don't put deadlines at all because I do not care about those things, because I know how to motivate people to work faster. I know how to keep them very engaged with the work that they do, and I have systems to actually check their work. That's the point. Not only do you have to really look at what they are doing and see the work, but you can actually delegate that as well. You can have them check their own work without even knowing. It's called indexing. And if you ever make a system for yourself, you're going to know how valuable that is. Because once you go in a project and you have 30, 50 products, that's going to be very, very hard if you don't have a system. Everything teaches you in business that it's all about systems. If you don't have a system of labeling things, if you don't have a system of indexing things, if you don't have a system to manage, to create 200 products at once, you will not really do that well in business. Understand that business is not about creating a few products. Business is about creating thousands, hundreds of thousands of products. That's the scale you should think about. You should think about, how am I going to make thousands of these? How is it possible that I could be doing this? And that's the point. Most people do not know how to profit off of themselves because they do not think big enough. They do not think in systems, and they do not look at risk. And they don't understand that once you take enough risk, all the things flip. You don't have to lose that much anymore. The biggest losses are in the beginning. That's why it's so hard to start a business. That's why it's so hard to start anything, because the hardest hitting lessons are in the beginning. But those things you will remember for the rest of your life. And instead of making them the reason why you stopped, make them the reason why you succeeded. I know this sounds motivational, but it's not. It's very practical. All of the things that you think you have lost are the reasons why you will succeed. All of the lessons that you will have when you are failing are going to be the hardest hitting lessons when you will be succeeding, because you knew you succeeded because you've avoided those things, those pitfalls. You have to understand that you are never ready to take risk on yourself. You are never ready to actually start a business. You are never ready to hire someone. You never have the money. You never have the resources. You never feel like it's the right time. It never feels like it's the right time. All you have to do is just do it. It doesn't matter what you feel, what you think, what situation you are in. Just start and have this attitude that you can figure it out. Bet on yourself more because there is no other way. You are already at rock bottom. You are already struggling. It is very difficult to lose more, very extremely difficult to lose more than what you don't have. That's a powerful idea. You don't really have that much. So losing everything means nothing because when you have thousands, it doesn't matter if you lose 100 or 200 or 1,000. It doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, everything that matters is getting to the tens of thousands and not getting it there slowly, but getting faster and understanding how to build systems so that you ensure that you never go into the thousands again. And that's the point. That's the point you should do. You should actually take more risk on yourself first to build some systems so that you can profit off of your work. And once you understand how to profit off of your work, you will be able to profit off other people's work and give them opportunities to actually do things for you that will greatly benefit you. But most people think so small. They think so generic. When they start a business, they want to start a coffee shop or they want to start, I don't know, just stupid businesses. They don't do any research to study and find a business that actually makes money, not a business that is a fad, not a business that's out there and really makes money because all these people have know so much more than you. No, look at businesses where people start and day one or day 10 or day 100, they start making money with little to no knowledge, with little to no experience. That's the opportunities that you should find. Understand that that's important. And until then, just gather as many skills as you can, because the more skills that you have and the more tutorials you make for yourself, the better you understand systems. The better you understand systems, the easier it is to plug people in and have them do things. Understand that once you start thinking in thousands of products, it's going to be easy to give them something to do. It's going to be easy once you understand how to yourself make thousands of things. Once you do that, you will understand what you can delegate and how to systematize things in order to generate profit.